Take you to our communities now. You know, on the community focus issues, we bring you issues that are really making waves in these communities and attention-seeking issues. Issues that must really be addressed immediately by the authorities. We'll take you to a community in the Ashanti region where the traditional authorities are raising issues about illicit use of drugs. And they are saying that the usage of the drugs is having a toll on the youth in the area. This community I'm talking about is in Ntribuoho. Trust me, this is the first time I'm actually hearing of that community. But Ashanti Regional correspondent Bright filed a report. Let's bring you that report after we speak to the authorities that be and find a lasting solution to the problem. Stay with us.
Nana Bafo Kofi Atobra II, the traditional leader of Ntribuoho, together with the district chief executive Patricia Pearl Ankra, cut the sword for the construction of a police station in the community to help strengthen security. Speaking to ChannelOne News on the sidelines of the ceremony, Nana Bafo said the increasing abuse of illicit drugs has fueled indiscipline and insecurity, emphasizing the need for authorities to fast-track the completion of the police station to help curb the menace and restore law and order.
We know and it's a more and no man when Nala a Franco Bremai Chronom Omudi Hapo station Omuton we and then Mubonia Muton Hanyas and Kutua to trust them one of get a kind or the man Tamona Kung Fu Johnny to William the other day. And then me who says the police station Bahana Bambo Ejneya, a man a boy. And none of my
As part of the event, Nana Bafo also commissioned a 16-seater public toilet facility to improve sanitation and promote public health in the community. The district chief executive disclosed that funds from the Mineral Quarry Fund would be used to ensure the timely completion of the police station projects under the supervision of the traditional leadership.
And now on the church passion. Yede Emma ye do quarry hono. Says Cano and the aboa noa in the Yede projects no. So when your penny pa ama 9 new any man. Near man is and can ye be saying no. Won't me enquiry tea. Quarry fun no any deco. Quarry for no it dimut into mine. And I know my foot walk a home be.
So that is a report filed by our correspondent Bright Ibwa from the Ashanti region in Ntribuoho. And I like the fact that the traditional authorities have come out to talk about things that are worrying them in the society, because if they come out in their numbers, if we should have traditional authorities come out in every community in this country, certainly we'll be moving in for development. But Bright is joining us to tell us more about the situation. And also we'll ask him where exactly this place is located in Ntribuoho. Bright, good morning.
Good morning, Philip.
I trust you are doing well.
I'm very fine. How are you?
We are doing great as well. We are grateful that you brought us this story. But first of all, where is Ntribuoho located in the Ashanti region?
Ntribuoho is located in the Etija Fabric south of the Ashanti region. Basically, the capital is the Kodie. That's where Ntribuoho. Community is that they engage in petty trading and all sort of activities where Ntribuoho is located.
Okay, so petty trading, but they are not into farming like other rural communities. Oh, okay.
They are not.
So which kind of jobs do the youth sort of are into? Are they also into petty trading, or they are into other form of jobs there?
Exactly. So most of these young people, the youth I'm talking about, they are also into petty trading. So when the Muslims come to KJT, do another big, the central business district to engage in these trading. So they do sell footwears and anything that they actually get hold of. That's what they basically do and talking about the youth.
Okay, let's understand the frustration or the concerns of the traditional authorities. Is it that the usage of the illegal drugs by the youth has been a situation that has been there for a very long time, or it started not long ago?
So, 1st of January 2026, just last Thursday, the chief of the area and together with the DCE cut the sword for the construction of the police post in the community. Now, mind you, after my engagement with him, or during my engagement with him, he just made it clear to me that it's been one of the hectic problems for the community that the community is facing. So, in fact, somewhere in 2011, a committee was even set up to, as a matter of fact, an agency to deal with such situations. It had become so rampant amongst the community, amongst the youth individuals, that a committee had to be set up in 2011 to help, in fact, minimize the use of the drugs and even the sales of drugs as well. Mind you, again, the country has been battling in recent times with the use of illicit drugs amongst the youth, and then even at a point where the BBC even had to come in with a report exposing some Indian pharmacy that was trafficking drugs, illicit drugs, into the country, into most of the West African countries. Which of course, Ghana was not an exclusive. Ghana was happy to be at the center of it all. And so you realize that Ghana as a whole has been battling with this illicit drugs, the use of drugs among these youth. Clearly, with the conversations that I had with the chief and the traditional leader in the area, he was frustrated at the time, the fact that these youth keep using them, tarnishing their images, and start throwing away their future. Most of these youth that at the time that I spoke with him, even on the front lines, he tells me that who were engaged in these petty trading now resort to the use of these illicit drugs. And then again, compounding the whole problem, they have even used, some of these people have even used that as a hub for trading as well. So people from other adjoining or neighboring communities will even come to this community and trade as well. And so at a point you realize that there will be a shuffle here and there amongst the youth and all of that. And so it's become a huge challenge for the traditional leadership in the community, as well as the entire community as a whole.
Wow. That's interesting. We will engage the chief shortly, but any question?
Yeah, right. Are you able to gauge the unemployment situation in the community for us? I know you might not necessarily be able to give us figures, right? But if I should come to Ntribuoho on a typical Monday, which is suspected to be a working day across everywhere, what would I find the youth engaged in?
So when you come there, some of these youth are into the production of footwear like slippers and other shoes. So when you come there, sometimes you see some of these youth on the roadside, or like by the roadside, who have some kiosks or containers that they actually engage in the production of these slippers as well. And some of them, to majority of them, who would commute from the community to either Kegetia, Doom, or the central business district to engage in the sales of their products that they actually sell in. So typically, you come there on a working day. Some are engaged in the production of slippers and footwear.
Right.
And most of them also would live out of the town.
Right. How far removed is the community from other communities, the major towns, and if you like, the cities? You mentioned that once they produce these slippers, they trade around KJTI and the likes. How far removed is Ntribuoho from these areas? So
from Ntribuoho to KJTI would be approximately 15 to 20 kilometers. So that is really the situation.
Very well, very well. All right, Bright, thank you so much, and keep doing the good work that you're doing. We appreciate you. That's Bright Yeboah, our Ashanti Regional Correspondent, giving us some updates regarding the situation in Ntribuoho in the Ashanti Region. This has to do with the use of drugs by the youth in the community, and the chiefs and his elders, the traditional leaders, if like have taken it upon themselves to nib this menace, this canker in the bud, and bring some sanity among the youth who are expected to be the future of the community. And so it is the responsibility of the traditional authorities to make sure that these youth do not waste their lives on some of these hard drugs. And so, yeah,
well,
right,
it's a very sad one. But I like the fact that the traditional authorities are wading into the conversation. We understand we have the chief of Ntribuoho joining us live, Nana for October the 2nd. Good morning. Good morning, Nana.
Good morning.
We trust you are doing well.
Nana,
first of all, I want to find out from you, for how long has this situation been like that, the usage of the drugs by the youth in your community?
When I'm with you, that's so Mama Kunya. About watch because of a script in our honor, Sabi, Bambono Susa. No come a bit of Kunya and you confused. The buyers so. About more dear Biana Miss Auntie Robert's glad umbaho because Mantamunilla a Franco Chronom, my Munina Honum Dia Center, Omoton, Vine Tramo, no Manomina Honum. A quite a honor no as a Sabi, a war, a chick cranity, a Bambono Naze, and see a sosa. Now say a Mubicrana, Sabio, may for Conya so now, Mother MC our bar pell, I said, because. By and said to name no one commander no walk on the no, Munina so 821 a more. No more pay because Sella no Nantiano and no Mabasa Bata, Bobana, Munu views at second chair, Mutimitress a kind at the bookroom or Cromanina subsepi. 8 to be joined to Munina. Timetia, Nama fat be anti Robert for free, Central Police Station Domuko. Tana me ya na fede to say. A moment said. A baby police station honum because a man temono is a subsabio or what develop pockets and Grogron doors or honum. A sha police station big one Quadiana police station war. A show once I made him my Sasa bomb so Yenya wood in from what say Yenya police station is the beer one be I one. Yenya watch it. A friend of the police post we be say a Franco. So cry hono any hono much. Tia bomba dibi. They be say Bianca. Police be buy a hona bambo seminal swati amaye. Wadaruma.
And what particular job and a Juma Bempa na the youth in the area no they are into?
Wadaruma a hopa dear. Meka just say be a Juma 7B ho na we muye dia na meboa. Na dia wo ne that boys see baby so free outside never home. Baby free outside. A Juma said then you want him Rantiquano at the Umwa Vibra, Sa at the money numinum. And money numinum num sa. Yes, you need baby. And I say so. I'm a chronos abamantamo chrono because of woman Juman intino. I'm a chronos abamantamo pa. So who hope what a big TV coach, Mabana TV to call. Money 2 TV call. And it's too pan and me now so I say, police station about a bit me a boy or some more. I'm not so. A Juma dear, Yamian Ukraine. Because we were no way, my binny man temple.
Nana, Pacho, say, Omuye Kruma, and Cassa, and I say, a hope will be a deal who are befra and Mebunu.
Wadauma, Kruma fra. Nemum, I want the dorsal. I want the dorsal because of. It's another mambono, baby, a horse and into mambono and coffee, my internal. Kruma, Caho, and you know, Mobaho. And I want a doors, Papa. I want a doors. I don't remember.
The committee, I said, just into one who were cheap and to buy money, Maho.
And said then, yet, because I had a yenny, and yet, in the baby, a channel say, or born a cheap. Kruna warning because of bonus, you went into Kruna town and at the boss also. A Canadian in Ntribuoho, or Himabo, Sasabo, bomb so we the bonnet chine one. And the time said the bomb so not your own and see so far. Nese bi akuru wa chiru Ntribuoho de say afija kwa abre south ya. Afija kwa abre south ze da ngwa. Nebom bambo na bi enso yeso. Ada wo mebru.
Okay, ya baba bambo ne sem no so na. Inro yi numboni omu dua ne ho mu twa ne ho anase kofo na di fi abonten beton ne.
Do baby na ye hu se bi nko adua bi. Omu dua bi okrom o wi no. Ye bi kura okrom o. Momadi bia dia police for ko ho no ne adade. Omu dua bi ho. Ya kan tra mo de uzo mo free glass store ne adade. No mo the 5 star de me no problem. And no boko feedback ho. If o fikesim. All guys center. If you want na so mo na ya baby a yesi no na chi ho no mo na bia bo sabio we se o makura na the gato o mo ton ho no na du anwuma na yi dia na nya sam keto akora mamrante na tatan me kru mo mamrante no emu bi a o mo do mo she sa adwuma die no o ma ye basa o na na bo da ro mebru
na a police for na ba ho a o mo ntimi enchiche the youth for no
nya mienu kru ni hu so o ma be chi bi kurada o mo ba ade sabio buja kwa abre south no police fund the omo ho de na mum o makade a o mo de ba be operations no na awo fom we dey get be sa ban so boboa police station no na o mo nya akade a o mo tim di aba ensa de a ho de nya bianim ni awo fom papa
na makoya ahemfu yi mo nya akonya ne mmabunu ya tenase ya di nkomo tutu o ma no tutu o mo fo o nuboni ne ahunsunsu aso ho
papa me da fe they make the okay my me several times because bia na me se bia me ko no hia na ye di nkomo a me de tu won me kan sa maka ka spela de ko so an ko so and the hia na se bi ta make us police station se me ba dia o mo wo the police for okromo dia and no so beti kwa na se bia sebi e so beti kwa na se bi jai kwa makasa de bia ene de bia menya kwanya akọ ana ebubo dwa bia mekasa bia no me de sade na fam kaka ho
na iti police for no ya mo be operation wo ho a mo so mo be sesa mabunu bi akọ
che bia atanye se bia ke be fresh central for doso kese pa te bia boys no doso pa di fresh central because how therefore no omu se dan doso omu se dan doso the fresh central maybe say me the swat for comedian Robi for ko be me ha mani kakura be insia nanso akokromo odu bi na no ayeke edu bi kura ma sabi ya honum no yo shooting range ho and for ni bi kura sabi omba na bi kura bufu because of no man na ekoso ho no kura ma ebi sabi ebi de wo na ba kromo kura be te boys no one because of no one no we na no de o ho no we achete kan o ho no we ai say di nyina ya sai no boni na no de ba edi police for no more we ko den de omu no so na kade no te ka o mo de be cooperations anyway we no na iswa say you betim dia ba ho abe petrol ho ma bobo e ho ban no iswa ina yesra ban say o say sabi menye police ni dia a message na mum da police bonu nya kade na o betim dia kono dia police commander na oba on so we good pa abako dia we good na maka kade na we de be boa na on so de be ye we dia boy ana tu municipal na you MC no on so ye oyobi a sabi oyobi o tie di pa sem pa da wo dia de we ye de tu na di mo a na obokoro police commander mane e bo police commander mane na oni bi na so na ana mo bi o so mutu o mutu na mu makade na o de ba be ye e de be boa ameye na no na sabi o munya enough sa afa me boa ye wadawo me bu
na sebio get to here na mabunu this o na mo yesa ne mai wo mi se na muni mbabi ye wo na matumi anan ma mutim se mo nkwa bi a mo nkose ho na mo nkose ho amranti ebejai
de ye kase pa ye sie bi si ho na fie no sabio enyi fo mu di fie ana fie ni o mu de nyina no mo na ewu ana bi so tutu ko bebi na sai fie no mranti bi wo fie ho no ma omo pa na agent and the woman the boys ne ba sikasi sikuru ne finfini wo pa pa eno na chi no ta fi na chi na sa gato no eye aho ye cemetery na aho no no bo gato no ho ebi te da na ayi gato no ma si go bubu no kura na o metra bo di no ma no na sa ko na bi ka dia ya toto sei no mo ti dia no so na o mo no ni ada de na mo titru adia akonya me da mo se ma fre ko ma na wo mo no o mo ma me no mo no aya ebiru ya ba se bone papa ebi zo munya hinti say police for na soldier for be krom wa ne ya ka te ma na o ma to wurem ta dia no so ko so papa ana sabi odi ohene bi a me di police for akọ ni akwati obi ba de nako na abụhwe ma me no oba ye sa ade bone we no na wasa so sabi o wasa gira bontene ekasetiawo ade na oyeye tia no oyeye ama ehu ana se eye ba kromo no na wasa so gira kromo sabi eye didi kasetiawo omu nyina aka ho bi na mamnante nso oma so mkuti pa omo ye sa adwumatie yemo ye de e si o so ye mamnante ne nse ne de ye bo mu nsai de be ye a betimi aboa amaba mo no ma ye de no eno ni anamo no ni ebitu ebi ni se ya ama kware fan ye wo DCDMC yo DC ene kware fo association bi o ma bedi so a sabi o o ma bedi so a sika afọ mu nsem pa o ma timi amfa anya we o pema association fo ya o ma bai ene di MC ya wo bai ana ye de ko tu mo ni ma o ma tie so frɛ se police station no inya emwa na mra manta mo ko sa ensem no ba o mo no bebrebe fa kro no sem ni wi no ne no ma basa ye ni nyina e ba o ma so ye nti o sa o mo so boa di ama eno na make us a meda MC no ona se no bi se ye kan mo opportunity we will be a me fi se me be di akonya me hu MC o te se ma me da on chai wo nya di wan ya na so hu MC a o te se Adam Pels da me hu bi da
yo na emergency omo no no woni wi a no de etutu asem omo di etutu asem na mpacho etutu asem no omo di omo ho ana so omo de ban kroma ne so
abi ye kroma na bi si omo aho la sam bi me kokromo na me kogun san okromo me duru ye pa manti me no atwese kan gira ho we twa na we twa etwa so etwa ne mo na ntramo no manom ne nti no so omu se say e twa mo da ti ofro mo no mbedi o se yo na wa na mfre police for me free me ye call no I think say ko ba bi te omu mala na prabasa omu nyina edwa omu ade ko omu ho omu hwie so a enam say adwuma no omu nye scan nti no amanfo omu TV omu phones omu de be e say wo da okodwuma no wa we bodi e twa obo machi na ya kwa kofa o TV anaso o tape anaso wo inu mafa de ko ta na e koso ma ye hono
yo nana ya beda wase
nana answer be kono impunto be mbiom na mo pe wo community ho aside the drug abuse na e wo area ho
okay say the be ya ba on bambo no ana bambo asem
no schools roads
impunto nyuma be na
okay wada ma ene no credit first ano man de ya ka chi papa de di kan ya kwanye ye school sem so ni akwa be ba ye sabi o ma she o se ye hwe kwabre ho no vita kwabre south wa papa ma dumai and the school can see o wa free tete o ho no ni secondary school ti me ba ye so me se ase se me ye me se school dan afe eye ss ase se be aban bi ba na ze ko se no on se ti aso ma on so ama beto aso ama ma ye bi ho traffic ni nyina ide e wo ho ka se bi e be se ya koto MC yenim on so obetu ho na mo de aboa school sam de enye ho de enye kura na se ya na MC ba ya school feed program school feed ye bi ma ho da since school feed start to bi ma ho da na se ya na bi ba
na ayaresa bia so
ende kwa de bobo obi ni ho ende kwa de bi ni ho na se ya na MC ya abeta o mam se o mo de bi ba ekonom o mo se fund bi
MC obo adwuma pa o
ana make sense na make sa me nya ne jimbo no e je fe ono oyobi a otie ni pasem pa ono wu se mantem wono no sabi na no ma we nyina etie nya ayaresabea bi ni mantem ho ye wo wonsamle ye wo heman Ntribuoho bomso sasa from ase amon my flu okodi nyina hospital ni wo mantem be bi ni ha
nti onko ni amokwan omo hia sa ai sabam
kwan bi faka akọ maase efeso maase ana francho hospital bi aba ho anafe ye omafaka to G ekwan kura ye dey faso dey free ho dey nipa no kura yare ye dey no ko G no ekura kwan ne nye ye kwan ne nan se ya na o ma ye gatesa o mo to ma be ye kwan since that nyina ho edi kan tabi na ko bo wi as nipa ba hu se no ye kwan ma ye ba bi as me ni fie ani fie bi adekatla na ne itu kwan odwie kwan ne de mai na yenya ai putujuma pie free abamu ma me mai ana se nya abamu mo ma me sa kwan ma papa ma dekatla ana ye sa akofo se sabi o wada ma we de menye politics NDC e bai mama ba kono wada ma first one no bai no bebe ye kwan no na kwan na engineer ana fe kwan no etutu free go no kota bai ere sa ma make mama bai no ana kota lere e bai o free go no na etutu wie no ya nya biewa ba besi ene no ta ba bakia ma be gata sini ni na wie ba kwan de ye nguso kota ene politics na me ye Mr. Mwada ye wo na neka ye mehu na neka me ye politics
yo ana ye da wasi bebre say oni e tweke san komo ye da si bebre so that's Nana Bafwato brother second is the chief of Ntribuoho in the Ashanti region, speaking to us regarding if like the rising spate of drug abuse in his community, his traditional area, and the concerns regarding same on the health of the people, the security and the safety, and of course the attendant crime associated with use or like the indiscriminate use of hard drugs by the youth in the community.
Yeah, but the DCA, whose name has been mentioned a lot by the chief, is joining us, Patricia Pearl Ankra, DCA Efija Kwabri South. Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir.
I trust you are doing well.
By God's grace, and you?
We are also doing well. First, want to congratulate you. It looks like you are doing a good job in your district. The chief made mention of a number of things that you are embarking on just within the first year of your term in office. But we want to find out from you, how did you get to hear of the drug usage or the drug abuse situation in that community?
Yes. Thank you very much. I'll use this opportunity to greet all your listeners and your viewers. Yes, so when we talk about drugs, it's not just in Ntribuoho. We are experiencing it in most of the communities. We have some communities like Buoho, Afancho, Ntribuoho, Hemai, where we are having lots of these challenges. But we are putting in more effort to. As we speak now, we now have Narcotics Control Board. We have their office in the district, and the BNI have also given us some backup. So we are working around the clock to get rid of all these people and stop it. We just noticed that it's because we are seeing from our analysis that because there are no like white-collar jobs, and the youth are not employed. That is why they are resorting to so many drugs. So we are also looking at creating more jobs for them, so that all these things will be
as an assembly, right? As an assembly and as the MCE, how worrying, how concerned are you regarding this phenomenon?
Yeah, it's quite worrying because you see the youngsters. You say that the youngsters are the future leaders, and you see these people going into drugs, marijuana, into cocaine, tramadol, red, and you can see that their future is deteriorating. So it's quite worrying because tomorrow, if we are not here, who mounts the stage? we're going to steer the affairs of Kwabre. So it's quite worrying, and we are doing our best to let them stop it and also put in more effort to eradicate this particular cancer.
The chief made mention of some hideout or the areas that they know that the youth do these illegal things at. What has been the plan like? Getting the police to go there, do some sort of raid there and all that. How has that been able to work to sort of address the situation?
So far, the police is helping us. As I said, we have now, in this new year, we have narcotics control coming in, the BNI, so it's going to be a collaborative effort. And sometimes, when you have these plans to raid these ghettos, you don't let it come to the limelight. It's just an operation and a strategy to get it. So that is it for now.
Well, I know you're just about a year in office, but have you done, if like a full-scale assessment of the situation in order to inform your strategy to deal with it?
Yes, please. We've sat down. In fact, for me, we've had meetings upon meetings with regards to this particular illicit drug abuse. So we have our plan in place. We were waiting for one or two things so that we can execute our plan. And I think we are much closer to the plan execution than before.
You've already touched on law enforcement, which I believe is part of the plan or will be a major part of the plan. But do we have any educational campaigns and awareness creation campaigns also as part of this plan?
Oh, yeah. NCC has been doing very well. They have been doing the education for us. And wherever we get the platform as leaders, Nananom, assembly members, everybody, we have been doing the education. But I think it's now time for action. The education has gone down too much, so it's now more time for action.
But with the structure you're putting up, the police post or station, what's the duration of completion like? The period for completion, the duration.
It's part of the strategy, so I can give it to you so that the people who upon hearing it, they'll know their plans. So when we are done, we'll let you know. They get it. So maybe they know if the duration is by the end of February. Before you get there, they know that you are moving from January to February. They'll go to their hideout. They may relocate or something. So when we are done with the whole operation, we'll brief you on that.
Okay.
But I kind of understand you, but this is a fiscal structure you're putting up. So I don't think it's...
the building.
Yes, the
of
building,
police
yes.
station.
Yes, please.
Yeah, the building of the police station, we are looking at probably by the next 4 months, we should be done.
Oh, great. Right.
Because we have available funds for it.
Right.
Oh, that's nice.
In your initial submission, you identified unemployment as a major contributory factor to this dependence on hard drugs. Do we have any plans for job creation for the youth in these communities?
Yes, please. With the collaboration of the assembly members and the other opinion leaders, we are trying to get most of them on the YEA. We are getting them on some of the apprenticeship programs and also looking at how to get them some jobs. Yes, so we are looking at all those things. And we are looking at getting more factories in those areas. Nana has promised to give us land if we so need, so that we can get investors to come to those places and build. So these are some of the plans that are underway.
What type of factory would you be looking at? What's the resource, the raw material in the area that will be feeding this factory?
Oh, we are looking at building the plastic brick factory. So that is what we are working on. And also we have proposals for steel factory, looking at the steel from magazine and stuff. So these are all plans that we want to execute.
Right. Do I get the sense that these communities that you made mention of are so deprived, or they do not have what it takes to be sort of have the youth to operate like the way people in the big cities are operating?
Not really, but you see, they are not deprived. We are urban municipal, so
Oh, wow.
we are not really rural. We are not really urban. We are in between, and some of these youth, as you know, many people want quick money, so school dropouts and stuff. It's all the problem, but we are doing our best.
The chief the chief also said you are doing a very good job. Is that reflecting in infrastructure developments like the roads, the schools, the hospitals, and all that in these communities?
Oh yes, as the chief said, the chief can't lie. So whatever he said is the reality on the ground.
But what are the plans like for what I just mentioned, for road, for the
road
schools?
constructions are going on. The school we are doing, the hospital, the health center we are building. So we are working on it.
Okay, madam, thank you so much for your time. Keep doing the good job. We will keep our eyes on activities in your municipality. That is Patricia Pell, who is the MC for Efija Kwabre South.
Yeah.
And this is in the Ashanti region. Nana, I like the passion with which the chief spoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
It tells you that he's much concerned about the development in the community. This is when I was listening to the City Breakfast Show, and I heard that say that the focus is now moving to the big cities, the urban places. Now that is where the conversation is now being centered and all that. But I think that if we have people like this chief in communities that are deprived or do not have all the developments that is in a particular community, and they come out to speak, we will see the changes, because he's working hand in hand with the government, with the president representative. That is the MC in the municipality, and that they are trying to find solutions to problems in the area. We wouldn't want to move away from the fact that everything is in Accra and everything should be in Accra. If we get to the stage where we can decentralize, we can get things in rural areas, we can get things in other communities. This rural urban or urban rural migration will be a thing of the past. People wouldn't be really wanting to be coming to Accra and want to say that they want to get things, and they would want to be seeking for greener pastures in Accra, but they can stay in an area like Ntribuoho, where we understand that the youth, one way or the other, are into the production of shoes, slippers, and all that, and those things are taken to the big city, that is Kumasi, for sale. So I think it's something that has to be looked at. If it's a factory that is being put up there, the factory should be done. We didn't see a factory that has been constructed or established, and the next minute we are not seeing it functioning and it's not operational, and it's just sitting there and it's in the middle of a bush. Yes.
I think from everything the chief has said, and from what the MC has also told, that there is a clear plan. But you see, the challenge I have with policy as against policy implementation is that gap between writing the thing on paper and actually seeing it come to fruition. That is where I have a challenge. Everything that DCE has told us, absolutely beautiful. We love it. That's what we love to hear. But to see it play out is where the challenge is. At least it started from somewhere. Rome wasn't built in a day. We've seen that sword has been cut for the construction of a police station. Hopefully, all other plans are implemented, and then we see it materialize, come to fruition, helps to address the challenge of this drug abuse in the area. But you see, what are you doing? Are you stopping them?
Quickly before we come to, let's engage a member of the Psychiatric Association of Ghana.
Dr. Robert Isua.
Yeah, Dr. Robert Isua, who is joining us. Is a specialist psychiatrist who is joining us for us to have a conversation on the use of drugs and how these drugs can have a toll on the human body, or whatever is going to be the ramification of excessive usage of these drugs and other issues. Doc, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. We trust you are doing well.
Yes, by the grace of God, I'm doing well.
Okay. First of all, where you sit as a doctor, are you receiving issues like this when it comes to the usage of illicit drugs by the youth? Are you getting reports like that?
Yes, thank you. And yes, actually, it's a common phenomenon these days among the youth. So some studies even have also been done. If we're looking at the pattern and the use of substance among the youth in Ghana, I think there's a study which was probably just last year by Chejamfi et al. That suggested that about 12.3% of adolescents who are aged between 10 to 17 have reported use of substances. And the commonest substance that they normally use is cannabis, alcohol, and then cigarettes.
Wow.
Then there's another study that was done by one professor at the psychology department from University of Ghana. Then that's Professor Goku Ashanti Region. He also confirmed that about 5.3% of the youth, he did a study, and that showed that about 5.3% of them have ever reported of using a substance just a month during that study. And then this confirmed the WHO and the global school-based student health survey, which also indicated that about 5.3% of Ghanaian youth are engaged in substance use. The other studies have been done, but from where I sit as a doctor, and then anytime some of us in the consultation, you realize that it's very common. At least you get 2 or 3 times in a week that an adolescent or youth is being brought by the relative or the caregivers reporting of substance use disorder. And some of the common substances that are being used are alcohol, marijuana, or what we normally call cannabis or bonsam tower. Then we have these days, the commonest one that's also emerging is the tramadol, that's the 225 or the red. And then when you go to the campuses, even though alcohol, marijuana, tramadol are also very common, but shisha or what they call the hookah or the water pipe is also very common. And then these days, if you go to parties, there's also what they use as laughing gas, which contains nitrous oxide. So substance use among the youth is actually a problem. It's a significant issue that we need to really look at.
I understand there are a lot of measures put in place by various agencies, departments, or institutions. We know of NACOG making sure that the substance abuse is nipped in the bud, and also when it comes to the rate that is being embarked on and all that. But do you think that we are doing enough to ensure that the youth do not get involved in the use of illegal drugs?
Yeah, I think, yes, there are some measures that are being put in place to really reduce it or prevent it. But I think still a lot needs to be done. So sometimes we look at what are the causes. You see, that are issue. Before you can solve an issue, you first of all look at what is causing it. You understand? So if you're looking at the underlying drivers of substance use among the youth, the common cause is the peer pressure and then societal or what do you call the social acceptance. Because among the youth, sometimes, yes, especially among the adolescents, they just want to experiment. They've heard of it. How does it feel when you take it? And then some have got social network. So if you belong to that social network, for you to be accepted, then whatever they're doing, you need to also do. And then we're also looking at the family dynamics. These days, you see, it's difficult even for parents to actually observe their children much, because like economic pressure, he's going to where he goes to where the child goes to school, he comes back, he doesn't even know what the child is doing at school, and a whole lot of things. So there are a lot of issues, and then we are looking at the same as the poor parental control. These parents sometimes don't even have control over their children as they are growing. So the point is, before we get to know what can be done, then we should know what is driving, what is causing it. Among the youths, yes, we understand there are also issues of less unemployment. So if the person is not employed, there's this life pressure on the person, he's not doing anything. Sometimes they even take this advantage just for what is coping with stress. that they go through. So I think that yes, there are a lot of maybe measures that are being done in order to really reduce the use of substance among the youth or curb it, but still a lot needs to be done.
Wow, that's interesting. But do you think that these measures that have been put in place, like we have in rehab centers, we have in a psychiatric hospital, we have in a facility that people can easily move there and get treated, or they can be able to get away from the behaviors of all these things. It's easily accessible in recent times, or it's difficult for the youth to say that, hey, I'm getting into a behavior like this and I'll need help. From where you sit as a psychiatrist, do you think that the country has made it easily accessible for the youth to get attention or help should the need be?
I don't think so. Yeah, because we'll come to some of the issues that you have, some of the measures that you have put in place. But I will always say that before you want to really deal with something, once you know the causes, then you look at how do you even prevent it. You don't even wait for it to come before you look at how you are going to reduce it or whatever. So I think that the first thing we need to do is to strengthen our educational system, in such that we have maybe evidence-based substance use programs in our education system, right? From from primary, the upper primary to SHS, and then to the university, so that like the youth or the student get to understand the impact when they go into taking substances. How is it going to affect them? It doesn't only affect their academic performance, it will affect their behavior, it will affect future, it will affect everything. So in that case, then it makes it easier for them to really go away from it. And then I think we need to also strengthen like the guidance and counseling session. And then the university, so that at least, like you said, sometimes the problem is that those who are even using substances, when they are getting into trouble, they themselves might not even recognize. But the colleague can even suggest that, oh, Kofi, maybe observing you doing this and this, I think you need to see the counselor. See the counselor first. So if there's anything, then we see they take it from there. So that is also another good point. So we need to strengthen the guidance and counseling units in the schools and the universities. And then sometimes there's what we call the peer educators and youth adolescent, let's say, ambassadors. So that, you see, most of the youth getting into substance or taking illicit drugs, they're being, let's say, influenced by their peers. So if you get their peers as ambassadors, let's say as teachers to them, then it is easy for them to listen to them than to maybe just walk up one day and say they are going to a psychiatric hospital, or they are going to see a psychologist, they are going to see a counselor. Most of them, when they come to psychiatric hospitals, it is either the father or the mother or the caregiver who are seeing changes and who is worried about the behavior that he's bringing the child. But it's not maybe the person he himself going to coming to the psychiatric hospital. And I think we need to also strengthen our family and then the parental involvement. See, a parent needs to be trained so that they will be able to recognize the early symptoms. They will see the early signs of maybe my child is behaving this way, and they say, oh, he's now very irritable, he wants to hide, he's demanding so much. So what is he using the money for? So I get to know these are the early symptoms of maybe substance, somebody who is likely to abuse substances, so that they can easily have, a way to really maybe bring the child to see a health worker to see how the problem will be solved. And then I think that parents will also really communicate with adolescents. See, at the adolescent age, they are just experimenting. When the colleagues tell them anything, they want to experiment and see. But these days, like parents are finding fights. It's not that they don't want to die. There's no time to really communicate with the adolescent child. And when you leave the adolescent child to the peers, whatever the peers tell him or her, is what the child is going to do.
Wow. And
then, like you said, like the community who have observed that maybe over there, the youths there are using illicit drugs. I think what they can do is there's also community-based intervention, where maybe you have youth-friendly recreation and social activities. This is when you go to some of the communities, see that the youth themselves have found out some small ghettos. They are there, like everything is done there. Some of them, they will go there. Your child leaves the house, they come back late night.
Wow.
Because he has found himself like a group that he belongs to. That is why he gets all the advice and everything. So if we're able to have a youth-friendly recreation and social activities, where maybe we develop sports, arts, and then maybe training programs, so that instead of them going to maybe the ghettos to meet their colleagues there, they are there, maybe they are playing football, they are playing ludo over a drought, and then learning other useful skills. It will help them. And I think the traditional authorities and then religious authorities like the pastors, when they go to church, they should also preach about
it.
Substance use. I think for them, we also need to maybe train these pastors, because not everybody who understands substance use or use of drug abuse, the effects. So they need to be also trained so that in one way or the other, when they are preaching, they also tell the congregants what to do and what not to do. And then, like you said, access to mental health services, it's not that common. So I think that we need to really broaden it. These days, the mental authority is making it possible, and the Ghana Health Service, so that every hospital will have a mental health unit.
Wow.
Say that if you go to the general hospital and then they ask you to maybe see a psychiatrist or psychologist, it's easy for you to have access. But that is not 100% in its maybe application. So early identification and then intervention is very crucial. Like when the person starts and you are able to really identify it, going into it to treat it is easier. But when the person becomes addicted, it becomes a big difficult. And you mentioned of the rehab centers. It's not easy. If the person has even accepted that you want to have a rehab and get his life back, every month you pay some amount. And not every parent or every caregiver or every relative who can afford that amount. So some come and ask, look, maybe like the person can do, I even want to be admitted so that I get better.
Okay.
But the question, payment is a big issue. Yes. Okay. And I think that sometimes, you see, the moment somebody is using substance and then you mention that, we want to send you to maybe a psychiatric hospital like Ankabu Psychiatric Hospital, Pantine, Akasai, then there's that stigma. The person will tell you, be more than like a man. So I think that we should have a youth-friendly mental health services where the youth can easily walk in. Sometimes we drive in the community, they can easily walk in, and there's no stigma attached. That would be very easy. And then, like I said, we need to also address the underlying psychosocial issues. If, like, we are having, maybe the youth are getting work to do, they are learning maybe vocational training and that kind of thing, I don't think many of them will just jump into maybe using drugs.
True. Now, Doc, a final one from me. Do you think we've sacrificed the preventive for curative?
that is a good question. I think with like I said, the best is the preventive aspect. The best is preventive aspect, but sometimes I think the creative, it is not that much. Like I said, how many rehab centers do we have in Ghana? And how many people can afford? How many psychiatric hospitals do we have in Ghana? And even though some of these ones have rehab centers, but how many patients can even afford to pay monthly for maybe 6 months or a year? So I think the best is the preventive aspect.
True.
Where we can put in measures such that the youth are aware of the dangers of drug abuse or substance abuse, so that they don't even go into it.
Okay.
That is the most important thing. And actually, it's like, if you ask me whether we have sacrificed the preventive for creative, I would say yes or no. But I think we need to do more on the preventive so that it is better to prevent the person from getting into it in the first place.
Right. Doc, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Dr. Sua is a specialist psychiatrist and a member of the Psychiatric Association of Ghana, speaking to us there on the issue of drug abuse, the challenges, the causes, how we could, if you like, avoid same and its attendant challenges. So that was quite, informative, quite insightful, if you ask me. He shared a lot of insights with us, and I think it's great. It's been an all-round conversation.
Yeah, all-round conversation.
Establishing the challenge what is being done about it, what
Find
it
a
looks
solution.
like at the national level, and what we can do as a people to help solve this. So
But-
I think it's been an all-round conversation.
But,
You have heard
but
it.
kudos to the chief.
To the chief, yeah.
It's
And
done
the MC.
Yeah. But I think it's a chief that really made
Patricia
mention.
Pell. The way the chief was giving her funds.
He's giving her
I
funds.
think we need to go and do an assessment of her work.
Yeah, or her
there
work
that
there, yeah.
We can give her proper funds upon establishing
Auntie
that her work
Pell,
has been
more
done.
funds.
Yeah. Anyways, this is Breakfast Daily here on Channel One TV. Stay with us. We'll be right back.